Hello, everyone, and welcome to English Podcast for Life. I'm James.
And I'm Sophia. Thanks for tuning in today. We're so excited because we're starting a brand new theme that's useful for absolutely everyone learning English.
That's right. Today, we're talking about one of the very first things you ever learn in a new language, greetings.
Yes, greetings are like the keys that open doors. You can't really start a conversation without them. And in English, there are so many ways to say hello, depending on who you're talking to, where you are, and how formal or informal the situation is.
Exactly. So, before we jump in, let's talk for a moment about why greetings are so important.
Good idea. When you greet someone, you're not just saying words, you're building a connection. It could be a quick hello to your neighbor or a polite good morning to your boss. But in every case, it's about showing respect, friendliness, and readiness to communicate.
Right. And here's something many learners don't realize. The way you greet someone sets the tone for the entire conversation. If you mumble or sound unfriendly, the other person might feel awkward. But if you smile, make eye contact, and greet warmly, you're already halfway to a good interaction.
Exactly. So let's start with the classic, hello. Hello is probably the most universal English greeting. It's simple, polite, and can be used in almost any situation.
You can say it to your teacher, your friend, someone on the phone, or even when you answer the door. It's very neutral.
Let's try a quick example. Hello, James. How are you today?
Hello, Sophia. I'm doing well, thanks. And you?
I'm great. Thanks for asking.
See? Very simple but polite and natural.
Yes, and one thing to note, in most English-speaking countries, people don't usually say hello in a very formal, stiff way. It's friendly, but still neutral.
And sometimes it's even stretched out with a smile. Hello! That can sound friendly and fun, especially when you see someone you like.
Now let's move on to hi. This is even more common than hello.
Yes, hi is short, easy, and very common in everyday English. You'll probably hear it more often than hello.
Exactly. Hi is casual, but it's still polite. You can say it to friends, coworkers, even strangers in many situations.
Let's give an example. Hi, Sophia. Good to see you.
Hi, James. How have you been?
Pretty good. Just busy with work.
See how natural that sounds? Short, friendly, and perfect for daily life.
One tip, though, don't confuse hi with hey, which we'll talk about in a moment. Hi is safe for almost everyone, while hey can be a little more informal.
Yes, so let's talk about hey. This one is interesting because it's very common, but it's not always appropriate.
That's right. Hey is very informal. You'd usually use it with friends, close colleagues, or people your age.
Exactly. If you walk into the office and say, hey, to your boss, depending on the culture, it might feel a little too casual.
But among friends, hey is super common, and it often comes with a question, like, hey, what's up? Or, hey, how's it going?
And sometimes, hey can also be used to get someone's attention, like, hey, wait a second, but that's more like calling out.
Good point. So learners should remember, hey can be warm and friendly, but it can also sound sharp if your voice is too strong.
Now, let's move on to greetings that change depending on the time of day. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening.
These are very common in polite English, especially when you want to sound respectful.
Yes, let's start with good morning. You can use this from the time you wake up until about noon, maybe a little after.
It's a polite, friendly greeting. You can say it to your teacher, your boss, your neighbor, anyone. Afternoon, you switch to good afternoon. This one is polite, but honestly, in everyday life, many people just keep saying hi instead of good afternoon.
That's true. You might hear good afternoon more in customer service situations, like when you walk into a shop or when someone answers the phone at a company.
Exactly. Let's try it.
Good afternoon. This is Sophia speaking. How may I help you?
Good afternoon. I'm calling about my appointment.
See how formal and polite it sounds? Very professional.
And finally, we have good evening. This one is a little special.
Yes, good evening is used after about 6 p.m., but not when you're leaving. When you're leaving, you usually say good night.
That's a very important difference. Good evening is for greeting, good night is for saying goodbye.
So learners should remember, never greet someone by saying good night. That sounds strange.
Exactly. Good night is always a goodbye.
Here's something interesting. In English-speaking countries, greetings often come with a smile and sometimes even a handshake, depending on the situation.
Yes, and in more casual settings, just a wave of the hand is enough.
And don't forget about tone. If you say hello in a flat voice, it might sound cold, but if you say it with a little energy, it sounds welcoming.
That's such a good point. In fact, sometimes the way you say a greeting is more important than the actual word.
Exactly. Imagine saying good morning with a big smile versus saying it while frowning. Same words, totally different feeling.
So let's recap. In this first section, we talked about the most basic greetings in English. Hello, hi, hey, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening.
And we learned that greetings are not just words, they're about connection, tone, and context.
After a short break, we'll get into more informal and friendly greetings, like what's up and how's it going. That's where things get fun and a little more playful.
Yes, so stay tuned for that. And remember, the next time you meet someone, choose your greeting carefully. It can make all the difference. Right now, we're getting into the fun stuff, informal and friendly greetings. These are the greetings that make you sound natural and more like a native speaker, especially when you're talking to friends.
Exactly. These are the ones that often confuse learners because they're not always in textbooks. But trust me, if you learn them, you'll sound much more natural.
So, we'll explore greetings like what's up, how's it going, long time no see, yo, hiya, and more. We'll explain what they mean and when to use them. Let's start with one of the most famous informal greetings, what's up?
Yes, you hear this all the time in American English especially. People say it to friends, coworkers, even sometimes to strangers in casual settings.
Now here's the funny part. When someone says what's up, they're not actually asking you to describe what's above your head.
Right. It's not really a question about the sky or the ceiling. It's just another way of saying hello or how are you?
And often, people don't even expect a long answer. You can just say, not much, or all good.
So, learners should remember, what's up is informal, friendly, and you don't need to give a long explanation.
Another super common one is, how's it going?
Yes, this is like a cousin of what's up. It's basically asking, how are you? But in a casual way.
And just like, how's it going, you don't need to give a detailed answer. In casual greetings like this, people don't usually expect a long conversation about your life. It's more like a friendly ritual.
Exactly. If you launch into a long story about your health, your family, your dog, it might surprise people.
Unless they're really close friends.
True. Then it's fine.
Now, let's talk about another greeting. How are you doing?
This one is interesting because it can be formal or informal depending on how you say it.
Exactly. If you say, how are you doing? Clearly, it sounds polite and professional. But if you say it casually, like, how you doing? It becomes very informal.
Yes, and learners should be careful. With friends, it's fine to say, how you doing? But in a job interview, don't use that version.
Here's a fun one. Long time no see.
Ah, yes. That's what you say when you meet someone you haven't seen in a while.
It's informal, a little playful, and very common. The grammar of long time no see is unusual. It doesn't follow standard English grammar rules, but people love it because it's catchy and fun.
Exactly. If you translated it literally into another language, it might sound strange. But in English, it's totally normal.
Now let's look at something really casual. Yo.
Yes, yo is very informal. It started in African American communities and in hip-hop culture, but now lots of young people use it.
It's basically just a way to say hey or hi. But it sounds very relaxed, very street style. Learners should be careful. Yo isn't appropriate everywhere.
Yes, don't walk into your classroom and say, "Yo, teacher."
Unless your teacher is super cool and doesn't mind.
Now, one fun thing about English greetings is that they can change depending on the country.
Exactly. In the UK, people might say, all right, as a greeting.
Yes, and it doesn't mean they think something is wrong. It just means, "Hello, how are you?" In Australia, people often say, "Good day, mate."
That's such a classic Australian greeting. Very friendly.
And in parts of the US, especially in the South, you might hear howdy.
Yes, howdy comes from how do you do, but it's very informal now. These little variations make English so colorful.
Sometimes, people add extra words to make greetings sound more energetic, like "Hey there" or "Hiya."
Yes, hiya is common in the UK. It's playful, short for hi you.
And "Hey there" is friendly too.
These small changes can make you sound really warm and approachable.
Sophia, do you remember when I first moved to London and people kept saying, "You all right" to me?
Oh, yes. You thought everyone was worried about you.
Exactly. I kept answering, "Yes, I'm fine. Why?" And they looked at me like I was strange.
That's such a classic mistake. Because for British people, you all right just means hello. They don't expect a long answer.
So learners, don't panic if someone greets you in a way that sounds like a question. Often, it's just a friendly hello.
So today, we explored a whole set of informal and friendly greetings. What's up? How's it going? How you doing? Long time no see. Yo, hiya, hey there. And regional ones like all right, good day mate, howdy.
That's a lot of variety. And the key thing to remember is, use these with friends, family, or people your age. They make you sound natural and friendly, but they're not always right for formal situations.
Exactly. And after a short break, we'll move into the professional world. Greetings you can use at work, in business meetings, or in more formal settings.
Yes, because not every situation is casual. Sometimes you need to sound polite, respectful, and professional. Last time, we had fun with casual greetings like "What's up?" and "Yo."
Yes, but now we're moving into a more serious area, polite and professional greetings. These are the greetings you need at work, in school, or in formal situations.
Exactly. You wouldn't greet your new boss the same way you greet your best friend. Professional settings require a different tone.
So now we'll go through greetings for first-time meetings, greetings for people you already know, office situations, phone calls, emails, and even cultural notes about formality. One of the most common situations is meeting someone for the very first time. The standard phrase here is, nice to meet you.
That phrase is safe everywhere. Whether you're meeting a professor, a manager, or a client, "Nice to meet you" is polite and professional.
Another option is, pleased to meet you. It sounds slightly more formal. People often use it in business or professional contexts.
And then there's "It's a pleasure to meet you." That one is especially polite, often used in formal introductions, conferences, or official events. It carries more warmth and respect than "Nice to meet you."
So, learners should remember that all three, nice to meet you, pleased to meet you, it's a pleasure to meet you, are suitable when you first meet someone. The level of formality just increases step by step.
Now let's clear up the mystery of "How do you do?"
Yes, because this phrase can be confusing. It sounds like a question about how you're doing, but in very formal British English, it isn't a real question.
Exactly. It's more like a formal handshake in words. When someone says, "How do you do?" you usually respond with the same phrase.
In modern American English, though, it's rare. Americans almost never use how do you do anymore. To them, it sounds old-fashioned.
So for most learners, it's best to stick with "Nice to meet you," unless you're in a very formal British environment.
What if you're not meeting someone for the first time, but you're seeing them again?
Then you don't say "Nice to meet you" again, because that would sound strange. Instead, you use phrases like, good to see you again, or it's great to see you again.
Those phrases are warm but still polite. They work in both professional and personal contexts.
And in workplaces, you might also hear, welcome back. That's especially common if someone has been away, maybe after a trip, vacation, or even sick leave.
Yes, welcome back is simple, professional, and shows appreciation.
Now let's talk about greetings in the office.
A very standard one is good morning. People use it when they arrive at work or when they first see colleagues.
It's polite and cheerful. Adding the person's name makes it even warmer, like, good morning, Sarah.
In the afternoon, some people still say good afternoon. But honestly, many just stick with hi or hello. Still, good afternoon is polite and professional if you're greeting a client or a customer.
And then there's welcome. That's often used when someone comes into your office or joins a meeting. For example, a manager might say, welcome everyone, at the start of a presentation.
Yes, and welcome makes people feel valued. It's a strong word for creating a positive first impression.
We also need to cover phone greetings, because they're very different from in-person ones.
When you answer the phone in a professional setting, you usually identify yourself right away. For example, you might say, good morning, this is Sophia speaking.
Or, hello, thank you for calling ABC Company. That structure is very standard in customer service.
It's polite, clear, and lets the caller know exactly who they're speaking to.
Notice that in professional calls, you don't just say, hello, that's too casual. Hello is fine for personal calls, but in business, you want to sound more formal.
Now let's move to emails, because written greetings are just as important as spoken ones.
Yes, and email greetings can completely change the tone of your message.
The most formal option is dear, such as Dear Mr. Johnson or Dear Miss Kim.
If you don't know the person's name, you can write Dear Sir or Madam, or To whom it may concern. These sound very formal, sometimes a little old-fashioned, but they're still acceptable in professional writing.
For a slightly less formal but still professional greeting, you can use hello or hi, especially if you already know the person.
Exactly. But learners should avoid starting professional emails with hey, which is too casual, and hey guys is fine for friends, but not for business.
So, the safe rule, dear for formal, hello for neutral, hi for semi-formal or friendly but still professional. So, we've learned the key polite and professional greetings. Nice to meet you, pleased to meet you, it's a pleasure to meet you, how do you do, good to see you again, welcome, plus the correct way to greet people on the phone and in emails.
Exactly. After a short break, we'll go beyond the workplace and look at warm and creative greetings you can use with friends, family, and in special situations.
Yes, those are the greetings that show personality and add color to your English.
Hello again, listeners. We've already explored basic greetings, casual greetings, and professional greetings. Now we're heading into warm and creative greetings.
Yes, the kind of greetings you use with close friends, family, and in special situations. They're fun, personal, and sometimes even a little unusual.
Exactly.
Let's start with warm, everyday greetings. Instead of just saying hello, you can make things a little friendlier.
For example, you can say, hey there. It feels casual, but with warmth.
Or hiya. That's very common in parts of the UK. It's short, cheerful, and often used between friends.
Another one is simply morning, without the word good. It's informal but warm, and it shows you're relaxed and friendly.
Yes, I love that one. People often smile when they hear a simple morning because it feels light and natural.
Of course, different regions have their own creative greetings.
Yes, in Australia, for example, you'll often hear good day, mate. It's iconic and very friendly.
In the southern United States, people sometimes say howdy. It comes from how do you do, but it's now a warm, casual greeting.
And in Ireland, you might hear what's the crack, which means what's the news or how are you?
These greetings carry cultural flavor. Using them can help you connect with locals, But you should use them in the right setting, because sometimes they sound odd if you're not part of that community.
With close friends and family, greetings can be much more relaxed and affectionate.
Yes, people might say, "Hey buddy," or "Hey pal" in American English.
Or for family, you could say, "Hi love" in British English. That's especially common in the north of England.
Some people also use nicknames as greetings. For example, "Hey champ," or "Morning sunshine." These are playful and warm.
Exactly. They don't just say hello, they also express affection.
Now, what if you haven't seen someone in a while? You don't just say hello, you want to show excitement.
A common phrase is "long time no see." It's informal but friendly, and it works for friends or acquaintances.
Or you can say, "It's been ages." That's another way of showing it's been a long time.
You might also hear, "Look who it is," when someone is pleasantly surprised to see you after a long break.
Yes, and these greetings add emotion. They show that you're happy to reconnect.
Special occasions often come with special greetings.
For example, at a party, you might greet people with "Happy birthday" or "Congratulations."
During holidays, greetings change too. Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, or Happy Holidays are all common.
Yes, and these greetings often replace the usual hello because they fit the context better.
Exactly. It's about matching the greeting to the situation.
Now, let's talk about greetings that are a little more playful.
Like yo, which is very short and casual, often used among younger people.
Or "Hey stranger." That's often used when you haven't heard from someone in a while.
Another one I like is "what's happening." It's casual, and it makes the conversation start in a lively way.
Yes, these greetings show personality, but learners should be careful. They don't always work in formal settings.
Right. They're great for friends, but not for your boss.
We should also mention nonverbal greetings, because sometimes the way you greet is about more than just words.
Absolutely. A wave, a handshake, or even a hug can all be greetings.
In the US, handshakes are very common in professional situations. In France, people often greet with cheek kisses. In Japan, it's a bow.
And with close friends or family, a hug can be the warmest greeting of all.
Yes, so greetings aren't only about language. They're about culture, habits, and relationships.
So, listeners, let's take a moment to reflect. We've explored greetings from every angle. Basic greetings like hello, good morning, hi. Casual greetings like what's up and yo. Professional greetings like nice to meet you and good to see you again. And now, warm and creative greetings for friends, family, and special moments.
Exactly. Greetings are more than just words. They show respect, friendliness, warmth, and even culture.
And remember, greetings are often the first impression. A good greeting can make people feel comfortable and welcomed.
So, whether you're saying howdy, good morning, or nice to meet you, always think about the context. Who are you talking to? Where are you? What's the relationship?
That's the key to choosing the right phrase.
We hope this podcast has given you confidence to greet people in English, not just with words, but with style.
Yes, practice them. Try them in real life, and soon they'll feel natural.
Well, Sophia, it's been a pleasure doing this series with you.
Same here, James. And to our listeners, thank you for joining us.
We greet you warmly as you go out into the world, ready to use your English.
Goodbye for now.
Bye-bye.